Hello everyone, welcome to Motivated Painters. Today I'll be talking about the control coat and how I do it. So first things first, if it's your first time here, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you being here. You may be asking, who is this guy, where did it come from? I'll put a little link on here so you can get to know me a little better and where I come from in my background. But I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you learned something from this video. So this is a darker gray, so I use SG07. I'm using PPG ENVIROBASE. Axalta autocolour is basically the same thing, just different labels. Yeah, so I'm using SG07. I'm using Tecna Pro Light with 1.2 with the TE20 cap, which is my favorite for sealer because it breaks it down quite nice and it does the job. Because I mean, to have a good sealer gun is very important because, like I've told you in different videos, it's very crucial because if you lay down the sealer very orange peely, everything else is going to look orange peely. So that's my tip on sealer guns. You got to invest a little bit more money to get good quality one. So I'm trying this Optima gun out. I believe this is Optima 910. It's a German-made gun, and I've really enjoyed it. I've been using it for like a few months now. No, not a few months, a few weeks, and I've been really liking it. I have a lot of good things to say about it. I'm going to do a review on it eventually when I get the time to do it. But I wanted to put this video out because a lot of people have been asking me about the double control coat that I usually do on metallics. Mostly just on metallics, everything else just gets a regular control coat. So as you can tell, my first coat is kind of heavy. And here's why. Because sealer is the perfect substrate for the base coat. Substrate is just what's underneath the base coat, whatever you're applying it to. So the sealer it just likes the base coat, and the base coat likes the sealer, so they get along really well. So I put one nice medium wet coat of base, then right now I'm putting a second, a little bit more heavier. As you can see, you see the reflection. That's how heavy I'm putting it on. You can see my reflection pretty good. So, but I am a firm believer that when you're dealing with high metallics and colors that are not very easy to work with, if you don't have good coverage, then you're just seeing right through them because there's no pigment. There's no base to the actual color. So what you're seeing is you're just seeing whatever is behind it. Inside the door, I'm only going to put 2 coats and like that's it. Like I don't do much inside. Obviously you have to make sure you get coverage so that it won't look bad. So 2 medium wet coats, it's what I've put on this, and I'm always trying different things. Like that's probably why sometimes I screw things up, because I'm always trying different things. So after I sealed and based those parts, now I am washing the car, and this ensures that you're gonna get a nice fresh substrate, like a nice fresh car for you to start your basing. Because if you just the reason why I do it like this, sorry I'm being confusing, but the reason why I'm doing like this is because that way I can get it cleaned and there won't be any overspray from the parts that I've been doing. So as you can tell, this on my first coat, I'm putting in like a medium coat. And like I said, I'm always trying different things. So this one, I put it on wet right away because I wanted to see what happened. And you could do this. This job came out beautiful. You could do this. The one thing I would tell you is to make sure that your panels are really clean. Okay. So after that dries, I'm gonna do nice tacking. I'm not putting too much pressure when I'm tacking, especially on this high metallics. But I am tacking, and I'm trying to make sure I'm putting it as even as possible. And as you can tell, I'm putting just enough base that on the blend panels that I am on the actual refinish panel. A lot of guys have problems when they do parts of the car, and they put a lot of base on the refinished panel, but then they don't put enough base on the blend panels, so then they see a difference in color. So that's why I'm putting lots of color everywhere, because I wanted to make sure that it works. So here's the double control coat that I put on. I turn down my pressure to 18 psi in this particular gun. If you're using a Tecna base coat, you're gonna do it at 15. If you're using any SATA, you're gonna do it at 18, 17. But basically, I do a whole coat. You can see it looks matte. There's no shiny spots whatsoever. You do not want shiny spots, right? So you're putting one coat and then followed by another coat. So you go down the door and then up the door, or down the door and then go from the top to the bottom again. I hope that makes sense. But that's basically the control coat. And see here on the blend, I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm releasing the trigger. That's very important for me. I've never reverse blend. I actually don't know how to reverse blend. I'm gonna get somebody to teach me how to reverse blend, so then I could teach you guys. I've just never done it. I've never had to do it, but I think it's something that I want to learn just for the learning experience. So, but what I do is, you see how now I'm working my way down. That's a double control coat. I went up and now I'm going down, and I release my trigger. That's the way that I'm gonna contain the metallics. Like I always tell you guys, think of throwing a balloon. If you throw a balloon straight, it's gonna splash. It's gonna splash all around in the same direction and evenly. If you throw a balloon to the left towards the panel, you're gonna see all the overspray going to the left. So that's basically the same thing. When you're blending, you want to contain the color. You want to throw the color. Just picture yourself throwing the color towards where you want to keep the color. So away from the panels that you don't want to have any base coat on. So I'm using EC530 PPG clear on this Land Rover. And this clear is very nice because not only is it a decently fast clear, but it has a great shine. I mean, this clear, you can do a lot of things with this clear. That's what I'm trying to get at. So you can put nice orange peel, or you can, lay down a nice, more smooth kind of finish. But I mean, almost 90% of the cars come with an orange peel on, so that's what we got to do. I mean, that's what we got to do. Now PPG has another clear that's a step up from this EC530, and it's called a 550. So EC550. If you ask your rep for EC550, you're gonna love it. There's a few guys that are using it and they love it. It is a slower clear, but let me tell you, oh my goodness, the shine in this clear is amazing. So a quick tip for you on this EC530 is give it 10 minutes to flash, okay? Because this needs to settle. This needs to just kind of settle in to what you've done. So once you've given it 10 minutes to flash, as you can see, there's not much orange peel on there. I have put a medium wet coat on because I'm a firm believer that your second coat is just gonna melt and it's just gonna mold. It's gonna mold to whatever was underneath. So if you put a really light orange peely first coat, then what do you think your second coat's gonna look like? Really orange peely, right? You can hammer it on and it might melt, but most likely it's gonna leave a big orange peel spot. So you gotta keep that in mind. And when you're doing this body lines, I mean, I've lost count of how many times I have gone a run on this body line, especially on this Land Rovers. You almost have to ignore them. So like, don't try to get paint inside of them. Don't try to get paint underneath them. You just gotta ignore them, keep going. The paint will get in there. So, but if you slow down and you're trying to put too much, or if you try to go around the handle there, right there, then you're gonna run that. So, but try to keep it consistent. As you can see, I'm as much as a robot as I am, as much as a robot as I can be, and trying to keep the same distance, trying to keep the same consistency, the same speed. And you never look at the gun while you're spraying. This is a beginner's tip that a lot of the guys that have been painting for a long time would know, or not. I mean, I don't know, but someone told me, never look at the gun, look at what the gun is doing, look at what you are doing, look at what is going behind the gun, because that's going to determine if you speed up or if you slow down, or determine what you got to do to get the finish that you're aiming for. I usually don't put 2 coats of clear inside the door jambs, because even from factory they look pretty crappy in there. So I put 2 coats on the outside and 1 coat on the inside. As you can see, I'm not releasing the trigger there as much because there's nothing beside it. If I'm doing panel by panel, then I want to release the trigger more. But I do try to do it as much as I can. Sometimes I'm holding the gun in an awkward position, like I'm trying to reach over a hood, and I just can't physically let go of the trigger. I could talk a little bit about that more in another video. But if you hanged on this far, I want to congratulate you, because I look at my Google Analytics and I see that a lot of people drop off at 5 minutes or 4 minutes or 3 minutes. So if you're still listening to this, do me a favor, send me a message, like make a comment and tell me, hey bro, I made it to the 10-minute or the 11th minute, whatever you want to be. This video is only like about 12 minutes, not even. But I really want to know that you're there. So, because if nobody's watching these videos, then there's no point of me making them. My whole point is to help painters. My whole point is to make this, this movement of motivated painters. That's the whole reason why I did it. Motivated painters. I want people to be happy. I want people to be joyful. I want people to work with joy and not with bitterness. So that's basically what I'm doing. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I post every day on there, and I'm trying to do my best in there to give you awesome videos and lots of good stuff. So thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, message me on Instagram or whatever you want. I just want to know that you were here. So guys, take care. God bless.